Greetings. This is the Verbal Antidote channel. I have something new for you. Here we go. Warren Buffett said Bitcoin was dead. Now here we go. The rise from the dead. The bit. Warren Buffett said was dead. Now, the rise of the bit. Allegedly. Here we go. This has been extracted from the podcast Jamie Tree. All right. So, without further ado, you have been watching Demand Samosa, Investments and Financial Tools. Welcome to my channel. Now, Bitcoin, the dead has arisen.
I think this is going to be a good year for Bitcoin. I think we started out the year with the ETF approval, and that was a big milestone. I think that the success of the ETFs is another milestone. I think that the halving in April will be a third positive milestone. I think those three things are going to drive momentum, and I think all the marketing wars between the Wall Street firms is going to be positive, and I think the assets being normalized throughout the mainstream investment community, and so I think it was keep generating momentum from here. I think it's also worthwhile, I think, to make one point. I think that we're living through the Bitcoin gold rush era, and I think the Bitcoin gold rush era started January 2024, and I think it runs until around November 2034. So it's about 10 years. And I'll tell you why.
Today's video was a clip from my interview with MicroStrategy founder and the king of Bitcoin himself, Michael Saylor. If you want to see the full interview, it's packed with Saylor's predictions, why he thinks $400 trillion is coming for Bitcoin, and finally Saylor's advice. Hit that first link in the description to check it out. I'd strongly recommend it. Also guys, before we jump in, if you want to stay most up to date in the Bitcoin and crypto world, make sure to subscribe to our daily newsletter, The Crypto Nutshell. It's a daily email that gives you the latest expert predictions from guys like Saylor, any breaking news, and top on-chain analysis. All you have to do is click the first link in the description, enter your email, and you'll get our daily 5-minute email newsletter in your inbox every single morning. It'll make you a better crypto investor in 2024 and will ensure you stay on top of all the news in the space. But without further ado, let's jump in with Michael Saylor.
And I'll tell you why. Because 93.5% or so of the Bitcoin was mined at the beginning of this period. But in November of 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin that will ever be issued will have been issued. And so that halving is very symbolic. People talk about Bitcoin, issuance coming out over the next 100 years, all the way till 2140. But the truth of the matter is, the last 100 years, you're only getting 1%. So I think, and actually of that 1%, 90 basis points of it is coming in the 12 years that follow 2034, and then it's 10 basis points, 1/10%. But practically speaking, all of the block rewards are de minimis starting in 2034. It's 1% over 100 years may as well be nothing, because the daily volatility and the daily trading volume is going to render that to be somewhere between third order, fourth order, fifth order of magnitude. So
your opinion matters. We
Values.
reward you for it. Survey Junkie pays out over $1 million every month to members.
So that being the case, really, this 10 years is your best chance to get Bitcoin, right? This is the gold rush. because this is.
So what do y'all think, folks? So he's telling you right here, 10 years. Great Warren Buffett says it was dead. Now, the economist strategist Michael Saylor says it definitely has risen from the dead. So, what do you think? Get in Bitcoin or be lost forever? What do you think? All right. Okay. Here we go.
The period where there's still a lot of fun, there's still a lot of uncertainty. People still aren't sure. They don't understand digital energy. They don't understand digital capital. They don't understand digital property. There's a lot of debate in the community: is Bitcoin a currency or is it a property? Or there's massive debate. A lot of people say, well, it's a currency, and since it's not legal tender, or because it doesn't move fast enough, or I can't buy coffee with it, it's not a good currency. So there's a lot of confusion in the crypto community. There's a lot of mainstream regulators, they think it's currency. So you see bankers say, oh, it's a currency, but it's not a good currency because I can't buy coffee with it. I can't buy things online with it. It's too volatile. And they think that's a criticism. And so they criticize it. And then people that think that they know what they're talking about, they hear.
Stop right there. So, he is clearing up the definition of the coin, Bitcoin. They think it's a currency. Everybody in the Wall Street world don't know what it is. It is a digital asset. It is a digital token, and it is a digital currency, really, as he said. So he's saying that you can't buy things with it now. You can buy certain things with it. So that's what he's trying to explain to the people, that you can buy things with it in other, countries and places besides America. But you're limited in that aspect of buying power. Okay? So, with that said, back when they was calling it a fiat currency, okay? So now, what we have now is, in America, a second currency next to the American dollar. So, it's like this. There are paper things that's next to the dollar that you have in existence now, but it still be paper, just like money currency in America is not going nowhere. Okay, it's like when you go to the post office, you can cash out the money, you got to pay a bill for a money order, or you can be go to the grocery store, come and say, yeah, the grocery store, Walmart, you can do it, make money orders. And the convenience store, you can make money orders. So that is paper, cash in your hand. It's paper currency, but it's a money order. It's something you ordered in a place of money, but it's still money in that order of paper. Just like traveler's checks, or you're trying to make a trip, you can call a travel agency, ask them how to do it if you don't know how to do it, where you get the traveler's checks through the agency, travel agency, and the bank. They will cash out the money for the traveler's checks. So currency in America, as in the American dollar, is going nowhere. It's one of the most powerful things on earth. No matter how much they ditch it, devalue it, put it down, talk about it, this is the most powerful single entity on earth. You got me? So I'm gonna let this guy finish. All right? 1 minute.
Some famous person say, well, Bitcoin is not a good currency, and or the government will ban it, or it's not as good as the dollar, or something, and so they get afraid, and they say, well, then I trust that guy, so I'm not going to buy it. So a lot of people are criticizing it for the wrong reason. A lot of people misunderstand it, and that creates lots of chaos, misinformation, stupid, misleading stories in mainstream media. It creates like bad takes on Twitter. It creates all sorts of confusion amongst Wall Street analysts. And so all of that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and just basic confusion, and then misunderstanding, it,
Sorry about that, Joe.
If we are to build an empire of hope, it seems we must first conquer New York.
Be careful. This place will eat you alive.
that causes a slow growth in demand, right? Like demand is growing, but imagine how much faster it would be growing if everybody had spent 100 hours, right? Right? The people that criticize it, there's no way Warren Buffett spent 100 hours studying Bitcoin, right? There's not likely that everyone that criticizes it spent 100 hours studying it. They haven't read the Bitcoin Standard. They probably haven't listened to 20, 30, 40 hours of podcasts, right? So the critics are misinformed, and the mainstream investors, they have all the money, right? There's $900 trillion of wealth out there. There's only 1 trillion in Bitcoin. So 99.9% of the money, of the wealth, is not invested, right, in the asset class. So a lot of people that don't understand what this is have a lot of money, and yet we've got a 10-year period when there's going to be an explosive increase in education, right? As Bitcoin's going to go up, and as the price goes up, more people are going to get asked, and they're going to reject. They're like, stop asking me. I hate talking about this. Like we don't like it because it's like gold. It doesn't generate cash flows. Or they don't understand. If you don't understand perfect money, right? What's wrong with gold? Gold has emissions. Gold is inflationary. That's why it doesn't work. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand why digital gold is better than gold. So you don't understand Bitcoin, you don't understand money, and then you haven't really thought very deeply about property theory or capital theory. So you definitely don't understand digital capital, which means you don't understand digital energy. which means that when someone asks you, you're going to buy it, your answer is, of course I'm not going to buy it. I don't get it. But when
I'm gonna let y'all know I did not speak to this man. I did not listen to this podcast. So the things I told you are things that he said, but he being more analytical for the podcast. So there you go. So if you come to my channel, you think I don't know about economics, I must remind you that economics was my favorite subject in high school. All right. So with that said, let it rip.
you say to people, right, like, if everybody read all these books, if they listened to all your podcasts, if they listened to all my podcasts, if they thought about it for a few hundred hours, tomorrow they would wake up, they would all buy Bitcoin, and Bitcoin would be $5 million a coin. And then we'd be doing this podcast, and you would say, Mike, all the comments from all my followers are, is it too late? And I would say, well, it's too late for you to get insanely rich. You're not going to get 100x, right? If you buy Bitcoin at 50,000 when it's 5 million, you're going to be bragging to your kids that you've got 100x your return, right? So it's going to be too late for that. But it's not too late to buy it, because it's still better to buy the thermodynamically sound digital asset, which doesn't have all of the liabilities of real estate, stocks, or bonds. It's still going to grow up in value faster than the S&P index. It's still going to be a better after-tax return than owning sovereign debt. It's still going to be better than owning physical property.
Okay, before we go, I must let y'all know that he is talking about investing in Bitcoin as an investor, long term. He's not talking about like Forex, day traders, and that's a different story. Now, when you trade in Bitcoin, you make a hell of a lot of money, but it's a real risk, you know. But Forex, people make a lot of freaking money, you know. So there's difference. But he's talking about investing in Bitcoin and holding it for a certain amount of time. All right. So he's talking about investors. All right. But you do have people that trade on the market, as in, you know, Forex and abroad, you know, different other entities, you know, like trading strategies, like day traders, they do, some of them do trade different, you know, entities on, you know, the market. So here we go. Let y'all learn that. Okay. And with that said, excuse me for moving it to you. I'm gonna go ahead and let him finish it out. And once and for all,
With the acts of God.
you have been watching Mansa Musa, Investments in Financial Tools. Like, share, and subscribe. Definitely share. Definitely share it. It's most important, because I need the video to get out. All right, thanks.
You know, force majeure, and all the other physical limitations. So it's still going to be the best investment. It's just not going to be the investment that got you the 100x return that you were going to brag about. And so there's no reason to worry, right, or fret. You don't want people to figure this out, right? Like if they figure it out, you won't. You have 10 years during which you can work, and you can buy Bitcoin while everybody else disagrees with you and doesn't understand it because they're intellectually lazy or they're a different generation, right? So that it's like me saying, It's 1905, and in 15 years, everybody's going to have an automobile, and now you know. Okay, well, you have 15 years to get rich in the automobile business. Figure out, are you going to set up the dealership in New York City? Are you going to start a company? Are you going to be a salesperson? What are you going to do? You have 15 years. Figure it out. This is better than that. But this is a 15 year head start. Um, and, you know, I had this analogy. It's like you could be working at a McDonald's. You could be working for $10 an hour, right? But if you're sweeping the $10 an hour in an asset that goes up by a factor of 100, you're getting paid $1,000 an hour. Okay, so how long do you want to work at $1,000 an hour? Well, you want to work at $1,000 an hour as long as you possibly can, because once people figure it out, then you go back to your $10 an hour job, right? So we're in the gold rush period. People are, when they think about it, they're going to realize this is the period during which everybody in the world started to realize Bitcoin